From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Russ Riesinger, the Yellowstone County Health Officer, defending the ban on fan attendance at school sporting events and offering some hope that parents could still see some games in person. During the Q&A on Facebook Live, the health officer released the timeline on when fans may be allowed back in. Health Officer John Felton said it will take 2 to 3 weeks for officials to get a good picture of what schools and activities resuming does to the COVID-19 case counts. Following that time, public health officials will evaluate the disease's spread in schools and the possibility of opening up to limited fan attendance. When the policy was decided with the help of all Yellowstone County school administrators, 2/3 of them were in support of the ban on fans. Felton said the health department and school administrators wanted to get the students some kind of a sports season rather than nothing.
Be a little patient and give us a few weeks to see what happens. If we're in good shape in a couple of weeks, we will look at it. If we're in trouble in a couple of weeks, where we've got multiple teams losing many players, or schools that can't stay open because they've got so many cases, that's a different scenario. But I'd ask for people, let's at least give these kids the best possible chance to get a season in. If we can get the fall season in, we have a chance to get a winter season in.
Well, meanwhile, you can find the full interview with Felton right now on the Q2 Facebook page. Meanwhile, it was back to school today for Billings students. COVID-19 changing a lot about the school day, from block schedules to distance learning. Billings School District 2 Superintendent Greg Upham said students were excited to be back learning in person for the first time since last school year. In his visits to several schools today, Upham said teachers saw no problems getting students to wear their masks while in the classroom. While the school district is pleased with the first day under its belt, there's still a lot of school left to go.
I was really pleased today. The masking, the students were outstanding, all the way from our high school students down to our elementary age students. Our staff said they were very, very pleased with the masking. Challenges with physical distancing, which we knew, not so much in the schools, but just students not touching students, but being in proximity out on the playground at lunchtime. So we'll have to keep working with our students about physical distancing.
Remote learning students will start their classes next Monday, but they will have a virtual meet and greet with their teachers this Friday. And just days into the new school year, kids in Shepherd are already being told to stay home because of COVID-19. Classes are canceled for the next 2 days following a positive case. Schools will now undergo a deep cleaning. The district planned to check out laptops to students in case a situation like this came up. However, now that will have to wait. The superintendent says teachers will contact students about homework. And there are new deaths to report when it comes to Montana's fight against COVID-19. The virus has claimed the lives of 2 more people here in Yellowstone County, bringing the number of people who've passed away here from COVID-related deaths to 36 in the county. A death was also reported in Flathead County, as well as the second one so far in Stillwater County. The total number of deaths in the state now stands at 93. Active cases around the state number more than 1,500, and more than half of those active cases are right here in Yellowstone County. Chief Forecaster Bob McGuire joining us now. And Bob, we've still got some air quality issues out there from all those wildfires.
Yeah, all the wildfires, all the smoke. Probably you maybe noticed with your eyes might be burning a little bit because of all the smoke. Well, let me show you just where it's all at. You can see the big ridge of high pressure that's over Las Vegas and the Four Corner states and even part of the Great Basin area. What's happening is that's taking some of the smoke from the Four Corners like Denver, Albuquerque, and then pushing it in towards California. And eventually that sends it right on up to Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and places like that. And so as you'll see, now it looks like even most of the smoke is starting to move all the way up into southern Canada now. And so this covers all of Montana at this point in time. And as you can see, the worst stuff is in the southwest corner of the state. That's where we have an air quality warning until 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. Plus in northern Wyoming, we have a special weather statement for air quality, poor air quality I might add, until 3 p.m. on Tuesday. And so let's check out the air quality. Here's the way things are shaping up. In the Billings area, it's considered moderate. That's really tough for some people who are sensitive to smoke. But out in western Montana, where you see the orange, that's where we have unhealthy air quality in that area. We'll have your forecast in a few more minutes.
Thanks, Bob. A new CBS poll shows more Republicans say being a Trump supporter is more important to their political identity than being a Republican. Those two values coming together tonight as the Republican National Convention kicked off. Natalie Brand has more.
Faith in me Senator Tim Scott capped off the opening night of the Republican National Convention with a stark warning.
Make no mistake, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris want a cultural revolution, a fundamentally different America. If we let them, they will turn our country into a socialist utopia.
The South Carolina senator also accused Biden's policies of hurting African Americans.
In 1994, Biden led the charge on a crime bill that put millions of black Americans behind bars. President Trump's criminal justice reform law fixed many of the disparities Biden created and made our system more fair and just for all Americans.
One of the harshest attacks came from a Georgia Democrat.
The Democratic Party does not want black people to leave their mental plantation.
Also appearing, Mark and Patricia McCloskey, the St. Louis couple facing felony charges after waving firearms at Black Lives Matter protesters in late June.
Democrats no longer view the government's job as protecting honest citizens from criminals, but rather protecting criminals from honest citizens.
President Trump will be featured each night of the convention, including Monday night's appearance with frontline workers.
These are the incredible workers that helped us so much with the COVID. We can call it many different things, from China virus. I don't want to go through all the names because some people may get insulted.
President Trump's oldest son, Donald Trump Jr., also focused on China while attacking Joe Biden.
Beijing Biden is so weak on China that the intelligence community recently assessed that the Chinese Communist Party favors Biden. They know he'll weaken us both economically and on a world stage.
And former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley accused Biden of being weak on Iran and North Korea. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
And tonight's RNC had a Billings connection. Tanya Weinreis, the owner of Mountain Mud Espresso, addressed the convention, thanking the president for supporting local businesses. Republicans here in Billings getting energized as the convention gets underway. Republican Senator Steve Daines watching the first night of the RNC here in Billings with his supporters and campaign volunteers. He believes President Trump has solid support here in the state, which will undoubtedly provide a boost to Daines in his bid to win another term in Washington.
Montanans want to elect a senator who's going to stand with President Trump. And my opponent, Steve Bullock, has said he's a single issue voter, and that is removing President Trump from office. I want to work with President Trump. Steve Bullock wants to remove him from office. Montanans will stand with President Trump.
Daines says the president is keeping a close eye on Montana and could still come here to campaign. Still to come on the MTN News at 10 here on Q2, we're taking a closer look at what has become one of the issues in Montana's race for governor. That's a sales tax, but how different really are the two candidates? And later, we take a look at some of the after-school services being offered here in the Billings area for parents and students.